Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Danielle Thompson, and this is my colleague, Dr. Terry Nolan. We are so grateful to be here and to be sharing information about something that we are very excited about, which is the Live to Lead series. This is new, and this is new to us, and in our sharing. And for those of you who are part of our mentee group, thank you for joining. For those of you who are new and have never joined a call with Terry and I and team like Jeannie's out there, we are mentoring through the year, literacy leadership mentorship. And this is just a value-added opportunity where we have some extra sessions with some very amazing teachers. So if you would go ahead and hit the mute on your speakers so we can have them all muted, and I'm emitting some other people. So Terry, let's just talk a little bit about why we find this work so important, why this is so important to us individually.
Yes, and I'm so glad, first of all and foremost, that all of you are here. Thank you for joining us. I don't think you understand probably the significance of joining something like this to learn more. We know that growth doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional about growth. Danielle and I are so intentional about growth. Those of us that are doing the mentorship series, Jeannie as well, so intentional about growth. So thank you for being here. In this journey, it was over 5 years ago that I kept saying, man, something is missing. I'm learning about literacy. I'm learning about reading instruction, but something is missing. And I couldn't put my finger on it until I came across Maxwell Leadership. And that is when I started to understand and realize, wow, this leadership component of not just managing our tasks as leaders in buildings and districts, but actually leading this work well and leading it with intent and purpose, and setting literacy as a priority doesn't just mean that I buy a new curriculum and we're good to go. We actually have to learn about leadership. And so that's where I dove in over 5 years ago into looking outside of education, because I wasn't finding it in education. In fact, in my doctoral program, I say all the time, my very first assignment in my educational leadership strand of my PhD program was around busing and transportation. Now, you know what? That's not leadership. That is managing tasks. Are those things we need to think about? Yeah, we got to get the kids to school, but it's not leadership. So I needed to look outside of education. And what I have learned looking outside of education has far surpassed the knowledge of leadership that I have learned inside of education. And so the learning that we have gotten, that Danielle, she's been on this journey too, we want to bring it to education, not just how we manage things, but actually how we lead the work, taking some of these principles from external thought partners, thought leaders. That's what this Live to Lead series is all about.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. A shout out to our colleague out there who's also part of the mentor, Laura Stewart, for joining us. When I think about my journey into leadership, many of you know, and for all of you who are new to listening to Terry and I, is that my journey has been in the schools personally, doing transformational work. And one of the things I would see was that when a teacher transformed on the inside and just exploded with eagerness to change towards evidence-based practices, if the leader wasn't there to say, I've got your back, I'm going to ensure that you have the space to equip yourself. That means the time to learn what you need to learn to teach the student in front of you, as well as the tools you need to do that work efficiently. When I saw the disconnect between leaders and the educators, I started to realize that it didn't matter how hard I worked to transform a system with the colleagues that I was working with. We we couldn't get very far. And in fact, I was just training today live in South Carolina on a virtual call, and I pulled up the NAEP statistics, and I took Oklahoma's, Mississippi's, and South Carolina's. And what I had preceded the dialogue with was reading's a really complex process in the human brain. And it's not a singular thing that we can assess or do to get to the end result of literacy for all children. But how does a leader understand and know that, and how do they lead well, and knowing that reading itself is extremely complex, but the ecosystem in which the child comes from is extremely complex, and then the school ecosystem is extremely complex, and the only way you can possibly grasp all of that is if you continue to grow. And that's where I've been the last decade of my life. Like, I became a national letters trainer. I trained thousands of teachers in Mississippi. I really worked to get the science of reading to every educator that I could, but it was the leadership component that when it was missing, educators couldn't reach their maximal potential without a leader that fully maximized the system that they existed within. So I went on to become a Brendan Burchard high performance coach, and then I also became a Maxwell certified coach. And hey, I got my doctorate in dyslexia, and I'm a speech language pathologist. So reality is that leading is about leading from where we each are, where we're coming to this work as ourselves. We don't have to have titles or positions. This is about really leading large from where we are. And so that brings us to the story of how we came to Live to Lead. And really, Terry and I, and Jeannie's been instrumental as well, we've been writing a 6-day transformational literacy leadership course, and we love it. We love training leaders, and they're loving it too, right, Terry? We're having a fantastic time.
And we're bringing in the leadership principles of how you communicate, how you have tough conversations, how you give and receive feedback, how you grow yourself, how, things around leadership that are not talked about in education, how to get up out of your seat and walk slowly through the halls, and not just once or twice, but consistently. The things that we learn from these external thought partners that we're going to hear from in the Live to Lead series, they are going to bring such incredible, just golden moments around what we need to do to lead the work well. Like I said before, this isn't just about, oh, we purchased a new curriculum, we're off and running. No, I've got to make sure that I see more and before others see. I plan for failure, I plan for success, I have the conversations, setting priorities. These are the things that we're going to learn from these incredible thought partners.
So let's talk a little bit about Live to Lead, everybody. So both Terry and I are Maxwell certified coaches. That's an important piece of the puzzle because we're immersed in trainings with some great content, but this is one of our favorites. We continue to do a mastermind on the 21 laws of leadership. And today I ended up talking about the law of navigation and how great leaders really understand that when you follow that law of navigation, you know before, you see before, and you go before, but you have the map before you enter the woods. And in this transformation work, you have that course that you're charting because you're growing. And so this transformational experience in Live to Lead has 3 great outside thought leaders, this one being number 1. And I'm very excited to say he's also our lead speaker at the Big Sky Literacy Summit this year, which is an exciting, unbelievable part of Transformation Day. John Maxwell will teach 4 hours of content at the Big Sky Literacy Summit, and it will be life-changing for sure. Then our second thought leader, he led the Gallup polls, which you all have heard the Gallup polls about, like, why does somebody love their job? This was Marcus Buckingham, and this love plus work content is what he'll be teaching on in this Live to Lead series. And who's our third one, Terry?
Our third one is Ryan Leak. Now, what's interesting about Ryan Leak, he's a high performance coach. He is based out of Dallas, Texas. And the thing about Ryan has had two videos go viral. One of them was he not only proposed to his girlfriend on the same day that they got married. He proposed to her, and 6 hours later, they got married. So, like, he had planned the whole thing. It was just an incredible story. So, he had this video that went viral. But what's incredible about what Ryan teaches, he's going to teach about chasing failure. And you know what? As leaders, that's kind of an oxymoron. Like, what do you mean? I got to chase failure. I don't want failure. My kids have been failing for too long. That's what I want to change. And Ryan says we got to change our mindset. John talks about this all the time too, is that we oftentimes think of ourselves as failure is just this worst thing, and you know, we can't get out of it. And he says, no, we got to fail forward. We've got to use failure as a momentum builder. Steve Jobs even said that success is actually the worst teacher there is. Failure is a better teacher when we actually know how to look at failure and learn from our failure. We say this all the time in literacy in schools. Look at your data, people, and just get a clear picture of reality of what's going on. And yeah, it could be failing many students, but that's level setting where we go. Let's chase what we need to do. So Ryan is going to come in and talk about that. And Danielle, I don't know if you mentioned what John's actually going to speak about. He's going to speak about high road leadership. High road leadership. What does that mean? You know what? There have been moments in my career, in your careers, where I have wanted to send a low road leadership email in response to something that has come my way. And you got to take the moment and step back and say, nope, I'm going to take the high road here. John's going to talk about high road leadership.
I love that, Terry. You know, we're talking about feedback in our mentorship series. So for all of you who are part of mentorship, you know, I was pondering high road leadership and what John was talking about. And it's really it's a self feedback loop that you put into play. Like, ooh, where am I going to, what's my word choice going to be? How am I going to speak to this situation? How is it going to land? And you really having to take that high road in some situations. So we're going to talk about Love Plus Work with Marcus Buckingham, which is the book that I showed you, that Love Plus Work. We're going to talk about the high road leader with John Maxwell, and we're going to talk about chasing failure with Ryan Leak. And here's how the formula goes. We want to show you exactly what this course looks like, but I personally have to get on the right page. So give me 2 seconds to get on the right page for us, and then I will show you. And here it is. So if you sign up for this course, I actually made it all live and active right now, which I'll take away those privileges right after this session. So you don't go ahead and watch all the videos. But what we're going to do is you sign up, you become part of this course. And until February 28th, the end of February, this content is yours to digest and to think about. And it's these 3 talks. They're 33 minutes long about each one of them. And we're going to digest them together and consider, Terry and I have talking points, and we are going to discuss them with you and how you can apply them into your leadership. So those 3 thought leaders are our guides. And we also have to let you know that it's exclusive content. Nobody else has this content. It is only given to those who do the Live to Lead series through the Maxwell program. And so that's why Terry and I want to share it with you. We want you to have this really amazing content that isn't offered elsewhere. And it's only offered for a certain time period. And that's why that timestamp is on it. Once you jump into this, you can see the class, you get to go right in, and the videos right there. So you'll not only get to watch it with Terry and I and process it, you can rewatch it. You could show it to somebody. You can really, really dive in and help yourself grow this content within the work that you're doing. And we really want you to grow your leadership skills through this content. Anything else, Terry?
Yeah, so each of the dates, and actually we may add that to just so you've got the dates on the calendar. The first one is going to be this Thursday. So we've got January 11th, January 18th, and February.
I think it's
What's
the
the last
8th.
one? What did
Let
you
me,
say?
I think it's the 8th, and
Okay.
I will pull that into the chat box, everybody.
Yep, yep. And so those are the 3 dates. We'll start with Marcus. We'll watch the video together as a group. And then Nell and I will lead this community through conversation about what we heard, because everybody's going to take something different away from each of these conversations. We'll watch the video and then we'll come into that conversation time at the close of that. We will record those conversations that we have, so that will be available to you. But remember, all of that's going to go away at the end of February.
So
Yes, Vicki, you're right. 4 p.m. Central.
I'm going to bring this up quick and I will show it to you. You have it in the chat box. If you are not able to access it, we will, it's on the Zoom link that you used for today. The QR code right next to it takes you to the sign up for this. But this is the sign up. You can quickly just QR code that and it should take you to the sign up for the course. You can always email us. We can drop those in the chat box as well. We would love to hear from you if you have any questions. I will drop mine into the chat box for you, and you can email me with questions, or you can email Terry with questions. So we would love to have you join Live to Lead. If you want, just go to the QR code and read more about it. Email us if you have some questions. Mine is Danielle mthompson@gmail.com, and Terry's is terrynoland6@gmail.com. All right, any other ads?
The only ad I will have is, because we are Maxwell certified, we get to share this content and give you access to these 3 incredible speakers, thought leaders in the leadership industry. Now, if you were to actually just go and, buy you a ticket to get in front of one of these individuals, depending upon where it is, I mean, honestly, it's going to cost you hundreds to maybe even thousands of dollars. So, because that's how high profile these individuals are. So the fact that we get to give access to this content is like, it just makes me so thrilled. We've already listened to them. We could speak for a long time about what we can take away, but remember, it's all about applying it to what we are doing around literacy education. And of course, you're going to learn some things for your personal life as well.
So leading large into 2024, we are excited for this courageous move and learning from some outside thought leaders, and we hope that you join us too. Thanks for joining us today, and let us know if you have any questions. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.